What's up, Internet World? We're the News 19 Nerds. I'm Leroy.
I'm Michael.
We're here to talk about Picard, Star Trek.
Episode.
Pew, 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 pew.
There's not a lot of pew pew, really.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting. There's pew pew.
Okay, a little pew pew. Episode 4.
Straight trash. Hot takes.
So, this is the first time where we're kind of doing a review that's somewhat timely.
No, it's not.
Well, at least the other episode hadn't come out yet. We could say that.
Oh, yeah.
So, in that way, it's somewhat timely.
Yeah.
So, I guess what I'm saying is, are we going to do our normal non-spoilers and spoilers, or are we
Yeah,
just
let's
straight spoilers?
Let's just do a review. Like, if you're watching this, you've probably already watched the show by now.
Okay, so just straight spoilers from the top.
This is straight from the top.
Okay.
This was the weakest one to me. I'm being hyperbolic saying it was straight trash. There were parts of this episode I really liked, and there were parts of this episode I really didn't like.
Okay.
So I'm still on board for the show. It felt a little uneven, and maybe that's just how I was expecting something more based on what the last episode gave us, but that's how I feel.
Okay, as the person who is the more recent Star Wars fan in terms of...
The least Trekkie of us.
And see, I'm already messing up. I said Star Wars. I meant Star Trek.
Good Lord.
I know, right? Y'all come
Get him in the comments.
Fair enough. I deserve that. Yeah.
He's the number one by Jean.
Y'all can at me at the Great Avery.
Those are not on Twitter.
Just keep coming with those two. And maybe I'll respond. But
those are our friends and co-workers.
Oh, man,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Great. So yeah, as you know, the least Star Trek fan of us, one thing that I've kind of seen people say in the comments, they're not a fan of the show because they don't feel like there's enough exploration in it, and that's what they get out of Star Trek. And as again, somebody who isn't deep in the lore, that is kind of what I thought of Star Trek. To me, as it definitely is a show where they go and explore, because they say it in the Explore New Worlds.
In the Star Trek, in when they're on a ship and they're going.
Yeah.
But notice this does not have that.
Yeah.
It does. So the whole idea of the Starfleet, that whole exploration thing, in certain shows, yeah, you do have that. But in this one, they don't.
Yeah.
It starts. It has the prologue or the cold open. Then it has the open, and then you go on with the show.
A big thing they talked about in this episode, Picard talks about the prom directive. We had talked about that before, but he brought it up at least twice, maybe 3 times, and that was just interesting about the prom. You know, prom essentially do no harm. You're just there to observe, that kind of thing. I thought that was interesting as just a way of, again, they're not going out to be the aggressor, to be violent. You know, it's kind of more of a defensive if they need to protect themselves more than anything.
Yeah. Some people are not going to like the show because it's not a ship going out, explore new worlds, seek out new life, new civilizations, to boldly go where no person has gone before, no one has gone before. I understand that. However, this show, in my opinion, and some of the creators have echoed this in so many words, and if you're watching the show, you can literally watch the videos with Alex Kurtzman and a couple other people. This isn't about an exploration show. The show isn't called Star Trek blank. It's called Star Trek Picard. It is following Picard. This is a story about him and his journey. So if you're looking for exploration, I think we're going to get that eventually. But I think this is going to be more about the relationships and where Picard is in his life after he left Starfleet, and what he does to repair or fix things in his life he feels is broken.
You brought up the suggestion before we started recording that maybe people should try Star Trek Discovery.
It's literally in the name, Discovery.
Because they are exploring things. They're discovering stuff.
They are exploring. They're pressing. Now, granted, Discovery may not be everybody's cup of tea as well, because they've changed some things as far as continuity, as far as like what is going on. But there is this idea of seeing things, seeing new things. That exploration is kind of there.
Okay.
It's in the name.
Yeah.
Again, it's in the name. Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Picard. This is following Picard. So I'm going to go on a limb and say Picard's going to be a big thing in the show. So it's not called Star Trek The Next Generation or Star Trek Enterprise. It's not about that. It's about Picard. Now, with that being said, there were a lot of things I liked in this episode. I feel like it was we're getting this in the beginning where we're assembling the crew, the motley crew, and I'm like, okay, that's great. But I felt like, and maybe I just didn't like how Picard acted in this episode toward the end, and maybe that was off-putting to me. That I felt like you pick the fight, you will go get your ass whooped, and then have the audacity to correct the person who saved your punk ass. Like that bothered me. I'm not gonna lie. But the other part of the
He
show,
moved that sign.
I was like, oh.
I was like, oh, okay.
Hashtag white privilege, man.
What are you
You
doing?
think they not gonna put paws on you, Picard?
Yeah, and he did almost seem like
He picked that fight.
he did a little bit because he moved that sign. Because I mean, to go back, you've seen the episode. Obviously, it starts with the cold open of 14 years ago. They're on the Vashti.
Yep. Which was an outpost. They got them out of the supernova radius, and this was an outpost. They were supposed to help. Starfleet was supposed to help them. Picard came in. Another thing you noticed was he didn't wear his Starfleet uniform. He came in with a safari outfit.
He was chilling.
He literally looked like Sean Connery from The Last Crusade. Indiana Jones. He did. He looked. Yeah. He looked like I'm going on an adventure. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we're on this planet.
Yeah, and this is the same time where the
Sense.
Yes, but no, the what is it? Helping the people
settle.
Escape from the planet or whatever. The
supernova.
Extracting from the planet. Yeah, all that stuff.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to explain that, or like you were looking for a particular word?
Both.
Okay.
I don't think I figured out what the word is I was looking for.
Immigrate?
No, I was thinking immigrate, but it wasn't.
Refugees?
It doesn't matter.
Now you got me thinking.
I know, but the whole point I'm making is this is still in this time period. It is still the time period where Starfleet is helping these people.
Yes.
At least 14 years ago, and so Picard has this relationship with these battle warrior nuns, which I like as a concept. Mm-hmm. And Star Trek isn't the first show to do it. Other shows have dealt with clergy people also studying martial arts. It's a cool concept. I like it.
Kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah. And he does this thing with his hands that's really cool. And
the Romulan greeting.
Yes, he meets this little boy named Elnor.
Yep.
And Elnor's infatuated with him, or he just looks up to him, and it's a cool thing because I told you over the weekend I started watching Next Generation.
Man, I was mad. Why are you mad? Because I was like,
I told you I'd never seen it.
I guess it was just one of those things. This is the thing I know I'm bad at, and I'm working on it. Lord is the whoever's upstairs is working on me. If something's good, I'm like, how have you not seen this? It's been around for 20 years. And
we didn't know each other 20 years ago, so
you knew Star Trek was around.
Yeah.
It's just like, I guess it's one of those things where I'm like.
But you know what? I also realized Star Trek started in like 1986.
Next Generation.
Next Generation. Sorry, started in 1986. I was 2.
No excuse.
I'm sorry. So yeah, I wasn't watching it. I apologize.
Your mom
86, 87.
In the womb. You mothers out there, fathers, I don't care who you are, parents, guardians. Starbeam and Star Trek. Here.
I can't wait till Katie sees this episode.
She'll probably never watch it.
Okay.
She thinks all the stuff I say is crazy anyway.
Okay. So I didn't watch it. I'm watching it now. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. Like, this is show, and I know I'm behind the times. That's fine. You guys can have me for that. But I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing in Star Trek Next Generation. I say all that to say, in that first episode, those first few episodes, he does not like Wesley Crusher. He does not like kids overall.
The funniest thing is,
I was like, he is kind of honorary to these people.
So the funniest thing is, if you go back for those, it's like you're now watching this, so this is new to you. The funniest thing to me, because I didn't notice it in the beginning, Picard used to date Wesley's mom, and used to. I'm trying to look for a kind way to be like, they were dating.
Yeah.
And you're mad at the kid, and I'm like, man, this is like,
yeah,
the idea that you don't like the kid, but you're smashing the mom. Like, I just was like,
yeah,
man, because like,
yeah. So he hates, or he doesn't hate him. He
kind of hates.
He doesn't like kids overall though. But it's not just Wesley. It's just that he's focused.
You're right. It's interesting because
he doesn't like kids, but. He's cool with this kid.
He's cool with this kid.
So we've seen some growth from Picard. That's a long way for me to say we've seen growth.
The one thing I always thought was always interesting about the Picard character that Jean-Luc Picard was, he was about the exploration of space. He was about being a Starfleet officer, this code of conduct we always had. And he always seemed to feel a little about family. Even though when you're on a ship on a 5-year mission, you become a family to a certain extent. So he had this kind of problem with children on the ship, which I thought was very interesting. And it's like, but you're sleeping with the dude's mom. And I was like, or had this relationship. Like they had a relationship. And I'm like, and you don't like the kid? Like, I felt, it was just always weird to me. It was always funny. But the coolest thing I think about it is that
Come on, Jenna.
Are you filming?
Yep.
We're filming, yeah.
What you need?
What's up? You need me to look at your script?
Yeah.
Can you email it to me?
Huh?
You email it to me?
Yeah, you don't want to read it down here?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks again for y'all's live shot, by the way.
We'll do better next time, we promise.
Unless second one was trash.
Hey,
Yeah.
I loved it. Next time I need a costume, though.
Oh, you ain't getting that. She done with you in a costume. Get back to Star Trek.
Anyway, white flash this. So I thought it was just interesting that he always felt like that. And now we see him with a child. And he's fatherly. He's sitting down. He's like, I'm going to find this kid a home. So that's why I said for a lot of people who were looking for this exploration, I think you're going to get a little bit of it.
Jean-Luc is exploring himself.
It literally is
internally
exploration.
literally,
to me, if you're not about character-driven story, this ain't the show for you. And I say all of that to say, it was very interesting seeing him in this light. But I think it's a continuation of his relationship with Data. And the fact that Data was an adult, so physically was an adult, but emotionally, his relationship with Data was very much as a mentor and mentee, almost like a father figure, and Data was almost like a son to him.
Yeah.
So I think he would not have had this bond with Elnor without the relationship with Data.
Yeah. So we flash for a little bit, and Starfleet's like, yo, you gotta go. You can't hang out here anymore. Deuces, you out. And Jay, also, side note, I like Rafi calling him JL.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I just love it.
Because,
JL, I like it.
And it's different, and you're getting into it's the relationship he has with Rafi is so different from the relationship he has with the other crew members throughout the entire time when he was on Next Generation. I loved little parts. I love the holodeck part where like basically they had this meeting and she's talking to him, and but I also felt like Jean-Luc, we're seeing him come to grips with, and I'm trying to figure out a way to say this. He wasn't necessarily a prick, but with him being kind of feeling himself that I am Jean-Luc Picard. I am the man, and that idea.
All the legends are true. I've done everything.
And that idea of this is who I am, and then having to come to terms with his failure for getting mad, and then just saying, if I can't save all, I refuse to save some. And Rafi brought that up, and I thought that was very interesting in this show. And I thought that was good.
Right.
The end of it, I was just like, that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. But I did enjoy him coming to terms with who he was and how he basically dropped the ball. For 14 years, he was non-existent to these people who you made promises to. You left them in the lurch. You left them in the wind.
Yeah.
And they remembered it. And to see that, that's where I was like, he wasn't understanding of his part in it. I feel like he was still kind of like, I'm Jean-Luc Picard. I was here to save you. And it's like, I didn't get that from the particular episode. Maybe it's just me. Hey, you will pay attention?
I'm talking. I mean, I'm listening. I'm not talking. I'm listening.
Yeah, I know you're not talking.
Oh, wait, you know what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm done with
Okay. One thing that I really enjoyed of the overall episode was...
Look at the camera. Look at the people.
I never look at the people. I always look at you anyway.
Don't look at me. I'm not attractive.
I mean, you're attracted to me, Leroy.
Oh.
One thing I always enjoyed, or particularly enjoyed about this episode is the crew dynamic of everybody being on the ship and just people interacting. So I'm pretty sure the Dr. Allison's Pill character and the pilot are going to get together.
See, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't
know.
think so.
Something about them, I feel like they're like.
I think it's cute. I do think it's cute.
Yeah.
I loved Alison Pill's character with Michelle Hurd's character. Like, I love when she came up, she was like, hey, and she was like, for real?
Yeah, it's like, what is this?
Who is this?
Yeah.
No security check?
Yeah.
You didn't wand her?
Yes. But I
At
like
least TSA wands people.
And I wonder if, because we see 7 of 9 coming on at the end of the show, still looking beautiful. Jerry Ryan.
I mean, when you were a Borg, you never aged.
Chef's kiss.
I mean, she was a Borg, you never aged.
The woman herself looks great too.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, we saw her in real life and she looked good.
That's cool. Yeah, because what I'm saying is Brent Spiner look old. Data look older in episode 1. She looks older, but she still looks great. Anyway, it's not the point. The point I'm bringing is, I wonder how many more people are actually going to be a part of his crew. Because I like this idea of a tight, close-knit 4 or 5 people. But if it got to be 7 or 8 people, that would be cool too. Just you get more familial dynamics.
I do like some of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping that every week it's not a who's gonna play a cameo, because I don't need that.
Right.
I don't need that. I know we got that a little bit in The Mandalorian and it worked for a little bit, but I want this story to advance. And I think part of it was I was really expecting them to get to Free Cloud. And this little stop that they made was unexpected. And it was unexpected for me. It was unexpected for the crew. At least for Rafi's character. But I will say that I enjoyed seeing 7 to 9. I enjoyed seeing her. I enjoyed that dynamic. I enjoy how we're seeing that Starfleet can't be everywhere.
Yeah.
And that there are worlds who are governed by themselves, and they might not be the most friendly, progressive, whatever you want to call it. And this world, Vashti, is a perfect example of what happens when some people are left to their own devices, but also how politics can shape a world based on the events that happen. And I thought that was very interesting. And I like that part of the episode. I really like seeing what happens to the power vacuum when Starfleet left and abandoned these people. Because without Picard championing this cause, they literally were left to their own devices. They literally were, it was either sink or swim.
Yeah.
And whenever there's a power vacuum, somebody steps in, whether it's good or bad. And we saw this place that was teeming with life, that was accepting of all people and all cultures, devolve into this world that became anti-Terran human, as they, it was basically Romulans, and it was segregated. And that's where I got a little kind of upset with Picard, as smart as he was, not to realize his part in it.
To think of arrogance and be like, oh yeah, they'll just welcome me back.
And I said that earlier, that white privilege, but it was,
yeah.
I'm joking, but it's that arrogance that you think, and that arrogance at times that we saw. You're going to see it in the next generation. This arrogance that Starfleet has, or certain members.
Everybody
of
wants
Starfleet.
to. You of course you want to work with Starfleet.
Of course, it's like
we're so advanced.
And it's like, nah, homie, like we out here.
We got cultures. We got history.
Like, homie, we in the streets. Like,
yeah.
where was Starfleet 5 years? Like,
yeah.
And it just really was, I thought, a missed opportunity, but also it could be a great opportunity to show how out of touch Jean-Luc Picard can be at times. So I really like that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who was the ship that was firing on Picard's ship?
That was an old Romulan bird of prey. A warbird. Hold on.
No, they said bird of prey.
Okay.
I remember.
I want to make sure I get the names because I said Constitution class in the last one, and somebody was quick to be like, "Excuse me," it was actually a galaxy, and I was like, "Thank you for correcting me."
Yeah,
because they will. Because they're Star Trek nerds out here. They're like,
I remember somebody. They said bird of prey.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of birds of prey, like, oh, Harley Quinn.
No.
The
old school Romulan, like that was from like the original Star Trek.
Okay.
When the Romulans showed up, and you were like, oh. And it was interesting seeing that type of vessel in this show because that's an old school ship, but it was still more of a match for Rios' ship. And I think that was interesting, although, man, that ship looked like, I don't know, I like the way it looked. back in the day versus the prettier version of it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it didn't look.
Okay.
But yeah, that was an old and again, what power vacuum? Somebody steps in,
Right.
and this whoever warlord it was stepped in, planted defenses, and I thought that was kind of a wasted opportunity.
I wonder if that bird of prey is connected to the Romulan ambassador that's in Starfleet. You think she sent them?
No, I think that was the warlord. Because remember,
Oh,
Rios,
for that particular
yeah,
planet.
but
Okay.
Rios said that in this sector, there are people who there was a war, basically a warlord who stepped in and controlled everything. Because you saw the Romulan insignias and the badges that they had. That's where I said I felt like this was a wasted opportunity a little bit. But there was a lot of parts of this episode I liked, but there's a lot of parts of this episode I didn't like. And that's why I said to me this was the weakest one.
Okay. We have not talked about the B plot or whatever, the Borg cube.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in this episode? This episode,
We saw niece Narissa. Hold on, I want to get her name correct because I don't.
Peyton List.
Peyton List. Shout out to Peyton List because she looks good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at her headshots and stuff like that and the other things she's done, you're like, shout out to the makeup artists on this show because you still look like you, but
you have a different look.
Yeah, so shout out to them. You saw Narek and
Daj.
Soji. That because Daj is the dead one.
Yeah,
Soji's
Soji,
the
yeah.
live one. Lieutenant Narissa Rizzo. Here's my problem with this. You get into the B plot. I'm tired of the brother sister. Are they brother and sister? Are they? Cause I got a sister. We never talk like you
Yeah,
know that? Like,
yeah. No, I don't talk to my sister like that.
yeah, that was very weird.
It is what's up?
I'm not here.
You could be here.
Oh, what y'all talking
Jenna
about?
already came down, so.
Oh, what y'all talking about?
Star Trek,
Star Trek.
Picard, episode 4. on
Oh,
CBS All Access.
okay, that's on CBS All Access. I don't have that. I'm gonna let y'all have
Guys,
that.
we should have a sign that says we're recording. These people just show up.
I knew y'all were recording. I was just, I didn't think I was gonna stop the.
No, we're not stopping.
Okay.
No, you could be on it.
Yeah.
We could put in special guest of.
Yeah, pretty much.
My bad.
That's all good.
Okay, y'all,
It's all
y'all
good.
keep doing you.
Yep, fantastic.
We got a video we go watch later. I'll call you when it's time for us to do it.
All right.
All right. Amazing stories.
Oh,
The
okay.
trailer came out.
Okay. Where were
Brother
we
and sister.
at?
Narissa
Yeah,
and
weird dynamic.
Yeah.
And so what I got from it is I don't
Game
think,
of Thrones.
Yeah, I don't think they're brother and sister.
They say they're brother and sister.
Wait, what? Did
Yes.
I missed that?
Yes.
Oh, well, dang. I was going somewhere else. I thought they were trying to play that way, but yeah, it's weird.
That's why I was like, correct, because they're brother and sister.
I never talked to my
showed up,
sister like that.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a little too. I'm like, Game of Thrones had that much effect on y'all? Like, I understand. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that I enjoy seeing her because she's slash and dash. She's like, I will burn this heifer to the ground if I don't get what I want.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, she ain't been activated yet. Let's chill. She's like, you got 48 hours.
So it seems like, to me, it seems like he's starting to fall in love with Soji.
Possibly.
I feel like that's where we're going. I don't know.
Possibly.
I feel like he's going to somehow maybe come clean, like this is what I really wanted, but no, I love you, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe he's going to have to go after his sister or something.
See, I don't even want that. You know what I want?
What?
I know I said this earlier, this is a character-driven show. I miss bad guys. I'm like, you're a bad guy. Be a bad guy.
Well,
Like,
maybe they're trying to play a little bit of both and redeem him to be almost like a Shaw character where we redeem him.
I'm tired of redeeming bad guys. Nope.
But maybe his sister stays the bad guy. And that's just the villain.
Unless there's another big bad, I miss bad guys. I just do. I miss. Now, granted, I know this is Star Trek. We're supposed to be a little bit more understanding. No, I want to see somebody get shot.
There we go.
Maybe that's just me. But
Okay.
no, this whole dynamic I thought was a little weird. I did think that was a little weird. The whole Borg. They have a Borg tradition, and she was like, "What?" And they were like sliding
on the thing.
I was like,
I'm like, okay, well.
I was like, okay, Star Trek, I'm gonna give you some rope. I'm gonna give you some leeway. I'm gonna see what you do.
Yeah.
But that was a little off-putting. I want to know more about this Borg cube. I want to know more about, I have it written down.
Mm-hmm.
I take notes. I'm sorry, guys. The Tal Shiar and this. I want to know more about whatever this hatred of sense is, and I kind of feel like I didn't get that. And so, but
Yeah.
there were like little seeds planted where he asked his sister. He was like, "Yo, what? Like, how do you know this? Like, what was on the ship? Like, I want to know more about that." And
Okay.
maybe this next episode, when they finally get the free cloud or whatever, maybe we get to that. It's just, there were so many great things about this episode, and I still like the show, but there were so many different things that I didn't like. Going back to Picard and his little thing, when he finally talked to Eleanor, I thought that was a missed opportunity because Eleanor was right.
Elnor.
I keep saying Eleanor. I apologize. Eleanor was right. You only wanted me. You only wanted me when I was useful.
Yeah.
So for 14 years, you didn't care about this kid, not realizing this kid thought about you
Mm-hmm.
and didn't think about. And I feel like he didn't reach out as well as he could have.
For sure.
And I felt, I don't know if that was a character flaw, that they were setting it up that way so for later on for us a thread to pull at, or it was bad writing. I hadn't figured out which one it is.
From the 4 episodes that we've seen so far, I definitely feel like this show is letting us, I feel like it's a deliberate choice to let us know Picard is not as great as we thought he was. I think that's a deliberate choice just based on what we've seen in all 4 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
At least 1 or 2 little things come up in each episode, like, oh, dang, Picard, that's kind of messed up. And you realize he's human. Because you definitely, from the outsider in Next Generation, I always thought Picard could do no wrong. And everything Picard did was incredible. Now we're like, you know what? He made mistakes.
But you know what?
Maybe this show will let him redeem himself.
This is one thing I will say that I do like about this show, that going back to that point is something we're dealing with now in the real world, that I wonder if that's a deliberate choice on their part. We have figures in real world, I'm not going to call them out, who do great things, but they have flaws. They make mistakes. They do things that are wrong. And you have to look at this person as a whole and not be so, this person is this. And then you look at it and say, but what about this? And you're like, yeah, don't worry about that. But that's a part of this person's legacy, the part of who they are.
Yeah.
And going back to Picard, hopefully we get some type of, I don't want to say resolution or some type of where, reckoning's not the word, but acknowledgement of, yes, I am Jean-Luc Picard. I have done some great things in my life, but I've also made some mistakes. I've let my personal ego, because we saw in episode 3, he was hurt.
Yeah.
Starfleet took that resignation.
Well, I don't understand.
He like literally,
what?
like, because Rafi was pissed. Rafi was like, son, did you know what you just did to me?
Yeah.
And he was like, but they took my resignation. And she's like, fool, wait
yeah.
I'm screwed.
Yeah.
I'm living in a space RV. And
You're going back to your vineyard.
you know what I'm saying? Like, so we did see a little bit of acknowledgement of that. And I'm hoping we see that with Elnor, because I felt like Elnor was right. And going back to my original point, you picked that fight. I have a problem with people who pick fights, about to get their ass whipped, and then get mad at the person who saved you.
Right.
Like,
Right.
he was like, Elnor, you bunch with my cause. And I'm like, dude, you should have kept your behind out of that restaurant.
Right.
Like, when you did this, I was like, son.
Because it's not like he just slightly moved it. You made a statement.
You could have looked at it and said, hey, my bad, y'all.
Yeah.
And sat down.
Can I sit here?
He was like,
Yeah. That was
like,
all on you.
He did that like a toddler does. Like, you know, like when you talk to a toddler, because
Yeah.
you got nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
You know, hey, don't do that, don't do that. And they look at you.
Yeah. And do it. Yeah.
Cats do that too. Cats and toddlers. Horrible little creatures.
Cats, toddlers, and Picard. There we go.
Horrible little creatures, except for Picard, because he did save the galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Yeah, I felt like that was unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I need to pick up my face side.
Poor black Romulan senator.
Oh, dude, the senator.
I was like, oh, bruh.
Now, granted, He did ask you to step down. Dude.
He did.
He gave. Hey,
That dude, he's like, yo, I'm dangerous. He basically told you, I can't kill you, and I don't want to.
He was like, yo, son, you want this strap? Like,
You don't want
He
this.
had it right here.
Yes.
He's like, hey, man, bruh, that's my old man.
Yeah.
We got beef,
Right.
but you don't want this beef.
Right. I'm giving you a chance.
He was like, I'm going to let you walk away, son.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And Elnor did, I don't know if it was actually him or just stunt or whatever, whoever this person was, did like probably a 720 spin. I was like, oh, this is sick.
This
is
what I
God,
wanted.
yeah.
And this is what I think is pretty cool about shows like this. And you get a little bit of this in Altered Carbon, coming back February 27th. Watch it, season 2. Clarence. Clarence, 8 Mile.
I didn't say nothing.
Anthony Mackie. Oh, he'll always be Clarence to me.
Keep going.
Anyway, you see this because of the Romulans' physiology.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Vulcans, same thing with Klingons. Does their physiology and their biology allow them to do moves that sometimes humans aren't able to duplicate? Is their fighting style. That was so cool to me to see this fighting style and using it in that way.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at Elnor. I'm like, hey, dude, homie, you did what you had to do to save your friend.
Right.
I'm not mad at you. I was taken aback a little bit by Picard because, again, I felt like, son, you messed up. You need his help.
Mm-hmm.
You picked this fight, and he saved you. You need to be saying thank you.
Right.
Going forward, you ain't said thank you. The first thing is you tried to chastise my dude,
Yeah.
and you was see, Elnor would have been like, hey man, beat me back down.
We good.
How about this? How about this? Your lost cause can go without me, cause I can be okay. That's that moment that I feel like it was missed out.
Okay.
So
I did like him saying, yeah, I finally decided to do it, or I don't remember the exact wording, but
bind my sword to your cause.
yeah, it's like, what is it, and what's the requirements, whatever, and they say it's a lost cause, and
I thought that was cool.
That was cool. And she's like, okay, well,
And she has that little I guess.
yep, let's go.
Alison Pill. If you guys go back, if you like Alison Pill's character, you'll love Tilly's character in Star Trek Discovery, because that's her. Tilly is one of the most honest characters to a fault, and she reminds me of that kind of person.
Okay.
And I like her in this because Alison Pill got on my nerves on the newsroom. Oh, and I like her. I really, after a while, but that whole, back and forth. I can't stand that.
Okay.
But there were parts I really liked about this episode, and there were parts I was just like. But overall, I'm still on board. I'm really excited about Thursday. I will say this. I'm still not ready to pay for CBS All Access yet. But I would pay, if we hadn't gotten it through work, I would have paid for it once the show was over and binged it.
Yeah.
Because I do like Discovery. I did. Also, guys, plug whatever. Check out your local library, because how I was able to watch Discovery was through my library. I was able to go look online. A lot of libraries now are carrying very in-demand movies, video games, TV shows, and that's how I was able to watch Discovery. I didn't get CBS All Access. The station where CBS affiliate helped us and reviewed this show. I wouldn't get it and keep it month to month.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I do get excited every week that I'm like, Picard comes out Thursday.
Yeah, something to watch.
Kind of like I did with Mandalorian.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I'm in. I'm still in. This was a 2.5, maybe a 3 Starfleet communicators.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the show. I'll give it 3 out of 5. Romulan Ninja Slice Chops.
Hey man.
You don't want this. That's it for our review here. We will put this up as soon as we can, and maybe we'll be timely on episode 5. We'll see.
I watch them Thursday nights, so
yeah.
It's just a matter of, because we got a lot to do.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot that has happened just recently.
Yeah. For more comments and stuff like this, you can always find us here on YouTube, also Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wotext.com. Always like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate the chats and the mentions and all that stuff.
That's down there.
And the love you guys give us. And we're out.
Peace.